All right, so for 8.1, we learned about 3 different types of equations. These are all one-step equations, and we also learned different ways to solve them. So I'm going to start with question number 1. 4y equals negative 12. Now in class we talked about the whole goal of solving equation is to get the variable or the letter by itself. All right, so in order to do that, right now, if we take a look, the letter is not by itself, it is attached to a 4. And first we have to identify, well, how is it attached? What operation is attaching the 4 and the y? And what's happening is this is 4 times y equals negative 12. And so we've learned using the opposites method, and I'll put that in brackets, opposites, that we can use the opposite operation to get rid of the number. So if I take that 4 and that y, right now I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, well, they're attached with multiplication. So to unattach them, to get rid of the number that's attached to the letter, we're going to use the opposite. So the opposite of multiplication is division. And we're going to divide by whatever is not the letter so we can get rid of it. So we're going to divide this side by 4. When I do that, 4 divided by 4 is just 1, so that actually gets rid of the 4. Here, they're gone, and all that we're left with on this side of the equation is y, which was the whole goal in the first place. When we wanted it by itself with no other lever. But we also have to do the same thing to the other side because an equal sign means it's a scale and it's balanced. So if I have a scale and I have 2 apples on both sides, right now it's even. If I take these 2 apples away, my scale is going to be unbalanced. So I'd also have to take 2 away from the other side to keep it balanced. So if I'm dividing by 4 on one side, I have to divide by 4 on the other side. When I do that, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and a negative divided by a positive is negative, and that would be my answer. And then what you can do is you can actually check your answer. And when I do that, I use the method called substitution. And I take my original equation, 4y equals negative 12, but now I know that y is equal to negative 3. And so I'm going to put in negative 3 for the y. And I know it's 4 times whatever y is, so 4 times, and y is negative 3. And we see if that's going to equal negative 12. 4 times 3 is 12, positive times negative is negative. Both sides equal the same amount. It means that we did it correctly. And that's how you can check all your answers. You just substitute in the value you get for the letter and see if it gives you the same number. Our second question we have is y over 4 equals negative 3. So again, our goal is to get this letter by itself, but right now it is attached to a 4 using division. So if they're attached with division, I'm going to use the opposite operation to get rid of it. So if they're attached with division, I'm going to detach them using multiplication. And I multiply by whatever is not the letter. So I multiply by 4. Now remember though, what I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. Now on this side, this 4 here, they're gone. That was the whole point of why we did the opposite, because it gets rid of it. And we're just left with a y on this side, which is the whole goal. Now negative 3 times 4 is going to be negative 12. And that would be our answer. And then the final question, and this is kind of our challenge question, is we have 4 over y equals negative 3. Yeah, 4 over y equals negative 3. Now it looks like the same question, but we got to be very careful. 4 over y is not the same thing as y over 4. They mean something totally different. So we can't solve this question the same way. Now, there's 2 different methods to solving this type of question. You can use the method we just learned, using opposite operations. All right, so I'm dividing by y. I have to get the y on top and by itself. So if I'm dividing by y, I'm going to multiply both sides by y. When I do that, the y's are gone on this side, and I'm left with 4 on the left side. And on this side, I have negative 3 times y, which is negative 3y. And then I need to get the y by itself, and right now it's attached to this negative 3 with multiplication. So the opposite is to divide by negative 3. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. the negative 3's are gone. All we're left with is a y. And on this side, we have 4 over negative 3, which is our final answer. However, that required 2 steps, right? We did our first step here and our second step here. It's actually an easier way to do these questions. 4 over y equals negative 3. We can use the fish method, okay, to solve. Now, how we do that is, first we need a denominator underneath this whole number. The denominator underneath the whole number is always 1. And then, we're not going to start at the variable, we have to start at the other number. So we always start at the other number and we go diagonally. And when we go diagonally, we multiply. So 4 times 1 is 4. Then we're going to go up or down, and that's going to make us divide. 4 divided by negative 3 is going to give us our answer. So y is going to be equal to 4 divided by negative 3. Which in our case, we can't simplify this fraction anymore. We could convert it to an improper fraction, but this would be good enough. You could also turn it into a decimal if you had a calculator, but I will accept as an improper fraction. They mean the same thing, and that's how we would solve all 3 types of